Welcome back to my channel. You already know what this video is going to be about. I'm going to be telling you the process that I passed through. I did not use any agent, so I did everything by myself. All the research, try and error, everything by myself, and a lot of YouTube videos too. So yeah, without saying too much, let's get the show on the road so I can get something to eat and go to class. So the process that I passed through, I'm going to divide it into 5. So there's going to be the school application process, the visa process, the accommodation process, and the ticket process. So just 4, sorry. Yeah, so talking about the school application process, I think for school application, you should just do your research, what area you want to go to. I did apply to quite a number of schools in the UK because applying to UK schools, most of their schools except Birmingham and I think Derby, I don't know, I'm not sure, are free. So I applied to as many as I can and I got a word back, offers from all the schools I applied to. So I'd say applying to UK schools isn't such a hassle like the other US and Canada schools, because I did try there too. I did get an offer from a US school, but it came after I was in the middle of my UK process. I was like, so the school application, do your research on what school, what area you want your school to be in, the courses the school offers, and just find whichever one goes in line with your interests or even the course you did previously. It doesn't have to be linked, but yeah, you find the school, you find your course, and then you apply. Under the school application, you're going to need these documents to be able to submit a school application: your university certificate, your university transcript, recommendation letters. You're going to be needing personal statement, you're going to be needing a passport, and you're going to be needing an English proficiency test. For UK schools, most of the UK schools I tried, the recommendation letter, you just get it from your school or from your workplace and then scan it during your application. It's not the same for all of them. Some of them would want the lecturer or the manager or whoever is recommending you to email it directly to the school. And for the transcript too, there are some UK schools that would require that the school directly emails it to them. So not through you uploading it while you are applying for the school. They would want your school to email it directly to them so that it doesn't pass through you in case you edit something out. I don't know. So for University of Ghana, there's an option where you pay, I think it's 10 cedis or 20 cedis, and then they take the email of the school. It takes about just 48 hours and they would email the transcript to the school on your behalf. Doesn't take long. So there's all these documents. Just get these documents and then you can apply for a school. On the school application, I think for UK schools, from my experience, it takes less than a month to get an offer back, unlike the other countries. So it took me less than a month to get an offer back for my school. But when you get an offer back, it's a conditional offer. Conditional offer is an offer where you have to get some things done before they would give you an unconditional offer. My conditions were to write a more in-depth personal statement. So a personal statement is basically just why you're choosing the course, why the UK, why the school, what interest in your background linked you to this course, blah blah blah, just something personal. So they wanted an in-depth one, a more personal one. I think the first one I wrote wasn't maybe too good for them, so I wrote a second personal statement, or maybe it's just a requirement. I wrote a second personal statement and they needed an English proficiency letter. That's an IELT. For UK schools, they don't normally require the English proficiency letter because you can get an English proficiency letter from your university's English department. English department, okay? So I got mine from the academic writing, the department, University of Ghana student law. So there you just go there. I think it's 30 cedis for it to be addressed to whom it may concern, or just 30 cedis for it to be addressed to a university for you. My school didn't require that. My school required an IELT exams, but I did my research on my school's website. It's good to read your school's website, and found out that in place of the IELT exams, if you are from a country that English is your first language, you could provide some particular certificates that would substitute for your IELT exams. And for my school, it was WASI certificate, but the WASI certificate has to be within 7 years since you got it. And the year I was applying was my 7th year, so if I waited the next year, I would have had to write the IELT exams. So I used that and they accepted it and then sent me my unconditional offer. After you get the unconditional offer, you now have to fight for something called a CAS. A CAS is the document you add to your documents that you're going to submit the visa application for your visa. So before you get the CAS, they'll give you an amount to pay into the school's bank account. After you're done paying and they receive the payment, you're supposed to get something called a CAS. But my school being my school, I did an interview called a pre-CAS interview before they'll give you your interview. It's basically everything that was in your personal statement. Could be why you chose the course, what are you come to do in the UK, how your course helped your community back home or your country back home. Just personal questions with either a panel or one person. Anna Network almost fucked me up for that interview, but the woman I got was really cool. So I passed the interview and then they sent me my CAS. Now that I have my CAS, I'm supposed to book something called a tuberculosis test. So a tuberculosis test, you just go on the uk.gov blah 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 website. I'll put their website here, and then you book a tuberculosis test on there. You need your passport and a couple of documents, and then they have the location of the hospital you'd go to for the test. The test is basically an X-ray of your chest. When I had tuberculosis test, I thought they were going to inject me or insert a needle in my chest. I don't know why I thought that, but then I did. The reason why you should book your tuberculosis test beforehand, before you are ready to even do it, is because Nigeria doesn't have that hospital. Togo and a couple of countries around Ghana don't have that hospital. The hospital is only available in Accra too, even in Ghana. So people from other parts of Accra, like Kumasi, they all come to Accra to do it. The place is always busy. I went at 4 a.m. and I was number 52. 4 a.m. I was number 52. At the time where I did it, the tuberculosis test was 1,000 Ghana cedis. I'll make sure to accumulate all the costs down here or something. So my tuberculosis test was 1,000 Ghana cedis. I booked it, did it, and then I added it to the CAS I got when I did the pre-CAS interview, remember? So I added it to that, and then there's a checklist on the uk.gov website of what documents you're going to need if you want to apply for a visa. Make sure you check for that. I'll try to put it here if I find it. So before you can book a date for your visa, you have to pay your insurance, that's health surcharge, plus your visa application fee. So your visa application fee, my visa application and my health surcharge, everything amounted to 23,000 Ghana cedis. And then when you're done paying, you're able to book a date. So there's assisted and unassisted. I just chose anyone that was closest and I booked that date. And then I went with my visa application and health surcharge receipt. When you pay on the uk.gov website, they give you a receipt, like a soft copy receipt that you have to print out, add to your checklist, add to your CAS, add to your passport, and add to all the documents you submitted to the school. The checklist will tell you. Then appear at the visa office with those documents. For Ghana, the visa office in Accra is Movenpick Hotel. Movenpick Hotel. I can never mention this thing right. Movenpick Hotel, Imperium or something. They are inside that building. So you appear there. UK visa application process is the easiest so far that I know of, because I have friends who have applied to other countries as well. So it was pretty easy. The only hassle there is the queue to get into the office. But then when you get into the office, it's a very quick process. They call you see a number that a counter is empty. Go there and then submit your document. After you're done submitting your document, they will take your passport and everything away from you. Then you go to the biometric room where they take your face, your thumbprint, your hands and everything and tell you to go away. Go away as in go home. So you choose whether you want it to be delivered or you choose to pick it up. The Ghanaian that I am, I did not want my passport to be in the hands of any delivery guy. So I chose to pick it up. So it took less than 2 weeks and I got an email that my visa is ready, my passport is ready for collection. You don't know if it's rejected or approved, but then they just tell you it's ready for collection. So I appeared there and I picked it up and it was approved. So for the UK student, a lot of people were asking me this. For the UK student visa, I did not have to do an interview. So yeah, so I picked it up. Next thing I had to do is, now you have the visa, you have to take care of ticket and accommodation now. For accommodation, there are quite a number of websites that really helped me out, even though I didn't end up using them because my school offered me an accommodation. Zoopla, Rightmove, Spare Room, a lot of them, UniAcco, Amber wasn't very helpful because they didn't have any accommodation in my location, but I know it's a very good accommodation website for students in the UK and even other parts. So I'll list all of them here so you can find accommodation if you're having problems. Very affordable, very, very cool. Make sure if you're choosing a city for your school, choose cities that have affordable accommodation. My city is kind of like a tourist city. This is where Harry Potter was made. It is not cheap, okay, because it's for tourists. It's kind of like an expensive city compared to the other cities, which I didn't know. So do your research. So after that, you book your ticket, okay? If you want to have a ticket at a cheaper rate, I'd advise you book it right after your visa application because the rate of the visa application, people bouncing you for UK student visa is very low. So book it around that time, because you would get it in Jesus' name. So after you book your ticket, you just show up at the airport and you come. Okay, that's about it. And yeah, for the school fees part, I know you are dying to hear. When you're paying your school fees by yourself, most UK universities will give you a scholarship on the school fees. And then when you do pay your deposit and you get here, you can arrange a payment plan with the finance team, or even before you get here, to decide that maybe every month you pay this amount of your school fees, every like blah blah blah. Yeah. And for my city, it's not hard to actually find jobs at all, which that's one thing I'm happy about, that I came to this university. Okay, yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this video was very helpful. Just pose all your questions to me in the comment section below. I'll make sure to list all the costs that you're going to need, because I know it's very important. The only hassle about doing the UK visa application is the cost, because I think it's the most expensive visa application process in Ghana, because of the difference in the pound in Ghana cedis. And as at my time, how much I paid in Ghana cedi might be higher than yours, might be lower than yours, because the Ghana cedis maybe has dropped further. But during my time, I think the Ghana cedi had really fallen, so it was a high amount. I'm hoping at the time where you book your stuff, the Ghana cedi is a little bit higher, so you don't have to pay as much as I did. But I know the UK visa process is the most expensive, because in total I paid, plus tuberculosis test and the visa application, I was almost close to 25,000 Ghana cedis. I think that's about it. That's all the information you're going to need. Pose all your questions. Just ask me all the questions you have in the comment section below. And subscribe, okay? Please. Nothing would happen to you, but please subscribe. That is the line of the beta squad. Video, I have class, so I'll see you guys. Love you. Bye. I put the water in the ocean in the city that I'm from.